movies for black girl nerds.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time. This was such an intriguing, had me on the edge of my seat trying to figure it out. And I love that I could not figure out where we were going because it kept me intrigued. Beginning with you, Vondie, with Mel. Well, both of you gentlemen, your characters and how they relate to Beth is like from a place of protection and caring, but by different means. Vondie, beginning with you, with Mel, he is a good neighbor, a good person. He's just trying to look out, mind his business. Is that a fair assessment of him? How does he relate to Beth in this whole scenario that they have taking place at the house?
Well, Beth was really a supporter of myself when my character, when my wife died. And so that was sort of the grounding aspect of the film that carried me through. Another component of it was, you don't know if he's a good guy or he's a bad guy, right? You know, you see him and you don't know in this genre who's the bad guy, right? And so that was sort of those two components helped me find my way. You know, supporting Rebecca's character and threading that needle of not tipping the balance of who I am ultimately in the movie.
For sure. Evan, with your character, it's a little bit tricky because we don't meet you in the traditional sense. You've already passed on, and what we learn about you, we learn through flashbacks, but we still don't know about you. How would you describe who Owen is that doesn't take us down the road without seeing the film of what he means to Beth and their story?
Well, to your first question, to Vondie, I mean, he's ultimately a caretaker who loves his wife unconditionally, like truly unconditionally. And that becomes evident as the film continues. And there are just these moments of adoration that you can sort of sense from him towards Beth. And I think that is the ultimate like driving force of Owen. And and then it's hard to discuss like the rest of the character that winds up being revealed. But but yeah, the character of Owen, Beth's husband, is indeed a caretaker at heart.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite tipping things from both of you as actors is like the fact that we don't know where in the gray you reside in terms of black or white. And it's a matter of like the menacing kind of the hesitant, the look, we just don't know, you question. Vondie, what is the key to nailing that? I might be good, I might be bad, you just never know. You have to keep watching.
Right. I think that a lot of that was Bruckner, trying to guide me as a director through the movie. Of course, as an actor, you do your work and you come prepared with some choices, and then you present them. You jump in the scene and you're doing things. But I think David continued to sort of shape those moments so that you never really knew where he was coming from or what he knew that she didn't know.
Absolutely. Well, they are calling my time. Thank you so much. This kept me on the edge, gentlemen. Very, very good. Very, very unique film. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you, David, for this film because it made me think and it made me ponder who is what to whom and who did it and why. And lately, I haven't been asking those questions about what I see on the screen. So thank you for that, for an original project.
Well, thank you. Mm-hmm.
The pleasure is mine. When I spoke earlier to your wonderfully talented cast, I thought about the key to casting aspersions on people. and what that looks like from the director's point of view, because we truly don't know if Vondie's character is who he says he is, if Evan's character is who he says it is. From your point of view, from your eye, what is the key to mastering that, to keep us, the audience, guessing like who is good, who is bad, and who is in the gray in this situation?
Yeah. I mean, so much I think of storytelling and cinema technique is just like questions and answers. You can ask questions with a shot. You can ask questions with a look. You can work answers the same way, and then you can change the answers on the audience at the same time. And not to just mess with people necessarily, but because you're in this space. I mean, the movie very much is very forward about describing itself as a labyrinth, I think. And so the maze of not knowing who you are or what your marriage is or who you can trust is something that's already on the table. So we tried to find mystery in everything, especially in the characters and the supporting characters. And in some ways that's interrogating the sincerity by which they're there to help. Vondie Curtis Hall character is someone who has experienced what Beth has experienced and genuinely understands the peril that she's in if she keeps asking the wrong questions, and is trying desperately to get through to her. And we, the audience, I hope, become suspect at him at a certain time, the same way Beth is, that there may not be something sincere in his motives. And so that's about aligning ourselves with her journey. But yeah, it was a movie and a script that was always elusive in that way. And so we were always looking for opportunities to keep around just to each.
All of the characters seem like they're positioned to help Beth navigate these stages of grief that she's experiencing, whether she's receptive to them or not. She has her own coping mechanisms to try to figure her journey out after her husband's death. When we meet Evan's character, Owen, we can't really build with him because he's already gone, and what we know of him, we know by flashbacks. How do you commingle that part of the storytelling where we don't know him because he's already dead? We just are almost seeing from one person's point of view, but still getting his point of view across, since he's not, I guess, an active character, you could say. We just know him by other people's memories.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, there's something really delectable about a narrative where someone is asking questions about a character that's off screen, and you're getting different versions of them from other people in some ways. But no, it was something that Ben Collins and Luke Petrowski, the writers, were adamant about from the very beginning, was that there would be a temptation in the story, especially when we got into development and the movie was financed, to cut back to a moment when Beth and Owen were good, so that the audience could fall in love with their marriage and who they were, and then be able to see where things had gone wrong necessarily. But if you do that, you take away this haunting sensibility. His absence should be felt. The idea that we're given a firm place by which we can understand who they are, the absence of that should be felt. There's something unnerving. It's almost like there's a missing scene in the film in some ways. And so that really put the pressure to get Owen's character across into everybody else's performance in some ways. The way they talked about him, production design was huge. He's all through the house, where his shoes sit by the door, how he hangs his shirts, his photos everywhere around the room that seem to be looking back. It's like you feel like he's there, but you can't ever quite get a hold of it in some ways. That was something that we were definitely after.
I enjoyed that tremendously. Thank you so much for your time, David. Very, very thought-provoking film. I appreciate your time and chatting with me about it.
Thank you, Deandra. Cheers.
Take care.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.